This afternoon, aspiring presidential candidates of the opposition NPP wind up campaign activities ahead of the crucial polls, which is only 24 hours away. Also this hour, NDC says its directive for appointees who have interest in contesting for party office to resign at least 6 months ahead of time is aimed at preventing greed. And later this afternoon, Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu makes a case for a relook at the contingency fund for addressing emergencies following Wednesday's fire disaster, which ravaged dormitories at the Northern School of Business. It's News Central live on TV3. I'm Kemini. I'm another news stars right now. This is your election command center. And with just a day to the NPP's presidential primary, all 5 candidates have intensified their final appeal to delegates ahead of the vote on Saturday, January 31st. Some 211,849 delegates will cast their ballot at 333 polling stations in 276 constituencies nationwide, as well as at the party headquarters, with polls opening at 7 a.m. and closing at 2 p.m. The candidates, namely Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Kennedy Ejapong, Dr. Brian Echampong, Kwabena Adjei Ejapong, and Dr. Yao Osei Duchum, say they are best positioned to lead the party to victory in the 2028 general elections. For Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, his experience and support from grassroots will result in a resounding victory at the polls on Saturday.
Political consistency matters in our politics. There is no, in the history of the NPP, no presidential candidate who has been brought for the first time has ever won a presidential election. You know, you look at Edu Boahim, he did not win first time. President Kufuor, he did not win first time. President Akufo-Addo, he did not win first time. And Dr. Bawumia did not win first time. But every presidential candidate who has been repeated in our presidential politics in the NPP, every presidential candidate who has been repeated has won an election for the NPP. And so Kufuor was repeated, he brought us power. Nana Akufo-Addo was repeated, he brought us power. So I'm telling the delegates to repeat Dr. Bawumia so that by the grace of God, I will bring us power in 2028.
Now, all the candidates have been speaking ahead of the event tomorrow. Former Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei Duchum says he remains the only candidate capable of uniting the party as the NPP prepares to elect its presidential candidate tomorrow.
The campaign devoid of insults, I will be your unifier. I'm the one who can unify the party. But when you elect me, nobody's going to say because of what he said and how he insulted my leader, the person that I loved and voted for, I'm not going to follow him. So that is something good that I will assure you that we'll have a unified party going into the 2028 election. The idea that close to about 40% of the people are not working, or some who are working are still poor, I think is something that should concern us, and we need to do everything possible to eradicate poverty from the.
We also know that one-time General Secretary of the NPP, Engineer Kwabena Adjei Ejapong, is asking party delegates to vote massively for him to ensure unity ahead of the 2028 general elections.
Semo pe enkaba mu a me nyama no keke na medeka. Me supportu Safuadu enso so me kodi Professor Duboahin achi me tu me hu si ho ma no 92. Me supportu Akufo-Addo 98. Enso me ye adwumaden ema President Kufuor. 2023 me kan ni badu no ho. Enso manya no me tu me hu si ho eye adwuma ema Bawumia ne party no. Inti, I'm the only aspirant who has served this party from 1992. I've worked with the Duboahin. Mene Kufuor aye adwuma, mene Akufo-Addo aye adwuma, mene Bawumia so aye adwuma. Minam yi moti se maka bibi atie obi da. Moti se maka bibi atie obi da. Obi ankama ye President Kufuor ne kasa maafo. Mfiensia, thank you akofa me tapes ke ebo. Nenso so omo tete me se asem bia meka bia memfa adwene ento ho. Me kasa mo bo se ye kuo MPP. Enye sika ana kyesere. Eye akukuduro, eye nyansa, eye tuhuache, eye nuado, adwumaden, usam wanim fifre. So the very foundation of this tradition was based on values. Inti enne mesremu abana ye beto no memrenda no. Enye yenti ne yetu party no dachi. For generations unborn. One way and woman in Akaho. Some would the end is if one way. It be among her. One more said that a percent omugu yanko for any masse. Yes, it be biddy. One more friend is saying, all right.
Engineer Kwabena J. Japon there. Now, Member of Parliament for Abetifi and former Agric Minister Brian Echampong also wants the Ashanti region to take the lead in giving him a resounding victory. Let's take a listen.
Nemo misrao say, me pesa 2-3 days yake, weba kame ho, na ya campaign more dene, na ya tibidi winning emphatically. Me wa jidi say, abatu ono diye, onyankopon abesha ne ho anyonyam, abesha ne ho anyonyam, enso asante mai misremo. Monya regional eba be di me victory nenim. Na metimidi tumi no abaya sasi so. Menim sen kran fo kakra wa ha. Enti me kan kran kakra. Me panye fai wa. Saturday o shiki ani nya afo. Me panye fai. Koni wo ke wo he. Afi ko me he wo. Ni wo win 2028 elections. E me panye fai ni nya fo shiki e ye ke ha me. I go for a mede kukunami, wadam. What wabano famame? Nami medi party nenim. Asantemai, ahobrasiemu, nyami suomu, obuemu, menkoto jogu form, memene da mechano menanum, ninuanum, mewafanum.
Well, that brings us to businessman and former MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ohene Ejapong, who is also urging delegates not to be driven by revenge politics when they go to the polls, but by work to rebuild trust with the Ghanaian people.
We cannot afford revenge politics. Our true task is not defeating one another. Our true task is rebuilding trust with the Ghanaian people. Dear delegates, I'm appealing to you to vote for me on Saturday. What I want to remind you is we are not just going to elect a flag bearer, but a winnable candidate who can give us a victory in 2028. And there's no other candidate than Kennedy Ejapong. So victory will be ours in 2028 if you decide on Kennedy Ejapong on Saturday. A candidate that is trusted, inspires hope, accepted, and capable of winning the MPP power in 2028. And I Ken Ohene Japan, number 1 on the ballot remains.
Let's sustain the discussion on the NPP presidential primary, which is slated for in the next 24 hours, so to speak. Professor Smart Sapon is the Director of Research and Innovation at the Kumasi Technical University, and he has been doing a lot of research over the past years on the subject matter. And he's here with me in the studio. Prof, thank you so much for your time.
Most welcome.
And the last time we spoke,
Yes.
Your research outcome was that the former vice president is in the lead. 24 hours to the polls, is it still the same?
Well, my three indicators, it is the unifier bit that is varying a little. But on the score of popularity and then on the score of suitability, he is still leading between 57 to 62.9%.
But the proof will be tomorrow.
Yes.
When the
tomorrow
actual
actuals.
Absolutely. But as we talk about tomorrow, right? How is tomorrow likely to play out in terms of the event itself? What are you thinking?
Well, not much has changed from the past. And so still I would not be surprised if I hear delegates being camped, not coming on their own evolution to come and vote. Teams would like to mobilize their supporters to come as a group. I remember the last time they held an election, as at 12 o'clock, some group of people had not come to vote. Nobody knew what they were waiting for. You remember, I was here in studio with you and your team, and we were discussing those issues. I just want to believe that things would change, but I'm not sure things would change that much. They would want to do campaign. People would like people to come and see them, and you know what that means. If they don't get their TNT, they will not vote. Much as we discourage that, I would not be surprised if tomorrow your reporters begin to tell us some of those things happening at the various polling centers. But let's lead with a caution that the police will be at work. And so all those planning to foment troubles should please be advised. IGP says 70 policemen per polling station. And that means a lot to those coming to vote. I just hope they would comport themselves.
It does mean a lot, but could it also be excessive for
No.
an event of 211,000 people?
Yes, the police isn't coming to attack anybody. We all know Ghana Police Service. Their intention would never be to come and attack anybody. After all, this is internal election, so they want to approach it professionally, knowing that you guys belong to the same household. But if anybody tries to disturb the peace of that environment, trust that at least 70 people can deal with the numbers that will be gathering over there. I just wish it won't degenerate into the point where the police will have to be called in to come and sustain or ensure peace and order. But
I mean, which is what I'm thinking now, right? For the police, based on their intelligence, their work, to say that I'll send 70 people to each of the 333 voting centers, it could also translate to the fact that the police think that this could be a very heated race tomorrow. Do you see that as well, to the extent that it could degenerate into a physical situation?
yeah, so the last time they had elections in 2023, you remember there were some instances where complaints came that some persons were obstructed from voting, at least some 3 centers. We saw on TV when one of the aspirants was so dissatisfied to the extent that he was calling, threatening to deal with the president and threatening to deal with everybody and all those things. So for the avoidance of a similar occurrence, I think the police has done well by providing the men. Not necessarily to say we expect chaos, but at least from lessons of the past, they need to be there in their numbers so that if it is peaceful throughout, fine, they will retreat back to their barracks. If it becomes chaos, they wouldn't need to be calling for backups and those things. They can instantly respond so that it doesn't degenerate into something that will disturb the general peace of this country.
I see. But, digging into that reference of the past or the lessons of the past, what are the likely hotspots for this presidential primary? Right.
So the hotspots will be in some 5 regions, if you ask me. Ashanti and Greater Accra, of course, because they are the most populous in this election, and that everybody would want a stake from those 2 regions. Then comes Western North and then Upper East. Upper East, for some reasons, security reasons already existing, and we all know. And then Western North being the new struggle battlefield in this particular contest. You remember in the last contest, Central Region and Volta Region fell for Ken. All the remaining 14 regions went to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. There's a likelihood of the Western North becoming a battlefield, and not a clear winner as at the time I ended my survey. And so people would seek to gain some grounds over there. And then, if you like, add the Eastern region, not because it's going to be chaos, but because the votes over there is also being highly contested for. So I think the police has done a lot of background. And I'm sure even with the 70, beyond the 70, they still have, for the purpose of these hotspots we are discussing, some backup arrangements for these special regions.
Those areas.
But as for some 7 regions out of the 16, it is largely peaceful always. The Savannah, the Oti, the Upper West, the Western, the Bono East, the Bono, the Hafo, and then the Northeast regions largely don't come with some of these heated
I mean,
instances.
you'd think that after the party took a very bold step in joining all the candidates to that peace process, the peace pact, you know, and the likes that have happened over the last months, that should trickle down to the delegates so that we can prevent situations such as this. Do you see that happening? Why do you think it will not be the case?
It will not be the case. It won't likely be the case because we didn't, or the aspirants didn't have the opportunity or the time to go meet their teams across the various levels. I've not heard, or I don't think that they had the time to meet all their team members from constituency to region to the national level. And so, yes, the leaders, have signed up to the Peace Pact, but they haven't translated that or get their people to buy into it. So, yes, you, the leader, have signed, but somebody will be somewhere in constituency C, misbehaving in your name, in the interest of protecting your votes, causing unnecessary chaos, contrary to what you, the leader, had gone to sign. So I would suggest that next time they do this Peace Pact activity early enough so that aspirants will have enough time to hold separate meetings at the various levels with their team members, get their buy-in, so that whether it is fiscal sign or otherwise, they too commit to what you, the leader, did commit to. That time was not there. So I won't be surprised if beyond the Peace Pact, some people will be somewhere in the constituencies misbehaving on behalf of their leader, who wouldn't misbehave because he's committed himself to a Peace Pact. But in all those, they should be wise so that, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody goes home. You will not land yourself in the police cells or somewhere.
I see. Let's come back to the candidates. These 5 men behind us. Surprisingly, they are all men.
Yes.
So the women don't want to be president.
Women empowerment. Under the...
that's a shame.
Under the UN, the Sustainable Development Goals, one thing that Ghana is doing well, one of the indicators that Ghana is doing well, largely driven by our vice president, the ladies who had chaired the judiciary and all those things. We were doing well with gender empowerment and gender equality. And it's one of the high marks we have gotten under the...
But politically speaking...
I just wish that the NDC would get some females too. If not, from the names we are hearing, it appears at that site is going to be all men.
I see. Let's look at the quality of the candidate, the quality of their campaign, and the metrics that lead you to, you know, some of the conclusions that you've drawn in your work, right? We'll start off with Kennedy Ohene Japan, the former Asin Central MP, firebrand of the party. Many people are concerned about some of his utterances and behavior in the past. But what does your research say? Right.
So he has superior experience in terms of legislature among over all
of them, all the other 4.
Yes. He has the benefit of 24 years in parliament and understands legislative democracy, if you like, better than all of them. Yes, you can say Dr. Brian is also an MP, but you check the number of years of experience. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia once a while visits parliament in those days when budgets were going to be read and those things, but it doesn't make him a stalwart in terms of parliamentary experience. So he has that as something to his advantage. What you mentioned in respect of his temperament is what majority of the people have against him. And I think he may need to work on that.
And during the campaign, we must add that we did see a change in that temperament.
Yes.
Occasionally, of course, the devil comes home to play, right? And like we saw at the signing of the Peace Pact. But we have seen that. I mean, based on your experience, the work you do, was that a real change, or it is just change to get the vote?
Oh, usually time brings out the answer. As to whether it was a real change or otherwise, time will tell. You have to give time some time to be able to know. But I mean, for now, we expect that for the position he seeks to occupy sake, he knows that temperament has no correlation with that seat he wished to sit on. It's coming to manage humans, and you put your personal self aside. You must have that broad chest, that emotional maturity to contain, accommodate all, and not your don't get yourself into things like that. And so if he's able to decouple himself from the position, I think it will help.
But how did he run his campaign with all that we know of him as a firebrand of the party? How did it translate into the campaign that he ran leading up to today?
Right, he did well. He did well. He stuck with the issues, even though once in a while the offside issues come in. For me, I got disappointed anytime those things come in, whether from himself or from his team members. Because, I mean, check some of his issues. Very relevant to our national development. He says, for example, that the concentration of all the ministries in Accra is something that doesn't sit well with him, and that if he becomes the leader and eventually becomes president, he will settle some of the ministries outside Accra. Fantastic. So that opportunities and jobs can be distributed across the country. For Christ's sake, what is our Greek ministry doing in Accra when fisheries is already sitting in Accra? Our Greek, get somewhere out of Accra and go and sit. So, fantastic idea. He talks about job creation and demonstrates with the little he has done as an individual, and forms that as a basis to say, when you give me the opportunity, these things would have driven more votes than the intermittent wayside things that comes in. But all in all, he sold his message. I'm sure
I mean, in one word, how would you describe that message he sold?
Oh, he sold a very good message. Only that at sometimes you see his followers, or either himself or his followers, neutralizing the discussion on the issue.
You'll be surprised that that's what some people like about him as well. And they'll say that he's real. He's the real one amongst them, because
so for example,
he's front and center when it comes to issues, right?
You see, when it comes to political party issues, you must know that the issue that exists in NDC, some exist in MPP, some exist in CPP. So and the work of you, a party person, is to protect the issue so that if anything at all, it stays within. The work of the other political party members is to come and look for those issues and use it against you. If the definition of truth is to the extent that you would use your home issues or secrets as a weapon against your own home to demonstrate that you are truthful, then morality will come in, and sometimes when you get the opportunity, somebody may not trust you too much with an internal secret. So, but that is fine.
Let's quickly go through the other candidates. Dr. Brian Acheampong.
The only man with practical agric experience among all of them. None of them has the capacity when it comes to agric. You can also add national security. You can say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for the fact that he chaired the police council, perhaps will get some security appreciation of security, but he leaves it. He actually worked in the army and then got the opportunity to serve as Minister of State in charge of interior and national security on 2 separate occasions. People usually forget that. What we usually remember him with is the agric ministry, but he was first Minister of State in charge of national security before even coming to interior and then the agric. So the security bit and the agric bit puts him ahead of all the 5 aspirants. In fact, none of them do have.
Right, and then to the most popular candidate as far as the polls are concerned, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Yes, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the most experienced among all of them in the contest at stake.
Absolutely.
He's had opportunity.
Oh, well, there's also Kwabena Acheampong. This is not his first rodeo when it comes to the presidential
the race.
primary.
Yes, he was in 2007, was there in 2023 and so, but Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was the running mate for 4 years, for 8 years, became vice president for another 8 years. So for the past 16 years, he has had the practical opportunity to visit every constituency, not less than 5 times. Step foot in that constituency, engage the people, not less than 5 times. So
quite an advantage for him.
Extreme advantage. Apart from the fact that for the work they are going to vie for, seek the appointment for, he has actually lived it.
But what really is his message?
Yeah, his message has also been on job creation, using the ideas and not necessarily his personal private firms as against Kennedy's message. So he says that when he puts one idea out and it's able to create a policy direction that employs more Ghanaians, it puts him perhaps ahead of all the people. He has also talked about the constituency-based budget. He says that the budget goes to a central budget, and at the end of the year, some constituencies cannot pinpoint what they got out of the budget that was read. So he would emanate the budget from the grassroots and has also promised their party people 10 appointments per constituency. That
created quite a furore.
Yes.
Because people were not happy about it.
Yes,
Let's talk about Dr. Yaw Adutwum and Engineer Kwabena Agyapong.
Yes. Dr. Yaw Adutwum, the most experienced when it comes to education and then education administration. The most experienced. Yes, you can count 3 doctors here, but I mean, they have never been teachers before, at least not to the level he has been. He says that education has transformed South Korea. Education has transformed Singapore. We are here struggling with all the natural resources God has given to us because our education does not transform the workforce into productive people. You come out, speak a lot of good English, but I mean, nothing beyond the English.
Yeah.
So he has promised that if he gets the opportunity to lead and eventually becomes the president, he is going to basically transform our educational system so that it brings out workforce that are productive. And he also comes as one fine gentleman, a possible unifier, and the delegates are going to decide on him on Saturday.
Absolutely. Kwabena Agyapong, who is also the most experienced in terms of party leadership.
Absolutely.
Right.
Party leadership, most experienced. Calm, a very fantastic communicator.
And also grassroots,
Extremely.
Grassroots activities, absolutely. Considering where he started from.
Yes. It's only that he's not been fortunate with delegates level election. The last time he was successful, he couldn't peacefully finish his term. The last time he was successful against John, was elected a general secretary. Even that first time success, 1 or 2 issues didn't make it possible for him to finish his term. So, but beyond all that, he's kept extremely good faith with his party. Extremely.
We have to study that.
Yeah. Where he gets that
loyalty.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Prof, for talking to us. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Yes, I'm here with you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Professor Smart Sapon is a researcher. We've just been looking at the race for the flag bearership of the NPP. The race itself is tomorrow. Your election command center will bring you every minute of it from across all 333 voting centers, including the head office here in Accra. Now, with over 211,000 delegates expected to elect a flag bearer for the NPP tomorrow, some citizens have shared split views on who the party must choose to lead them into the 2028 general elections. While some believe Dr. Mamadou Bawumia is proven and tested to be the most competent, others say the party needs the likes of Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, who would create jobs for the many unemployed youth and present a tougher contest for the NDC in 2028. Christian Yade visited Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra and has sent this report.
Election is going to take place in all constituencies across the 276 constituencies in the country. But what do people think? Out of the 5 persons who have been approved to contest this election, who do people want to lead the New Patriotic Party going into their flag bearer race, which happens tomorrow? And so I am going to engage some of the people here to ask them really whom they want to lead the New Patriotic Party.
I'm thinking about Bawumia should, still lead the party. But, at first, I was having hope in Kennedy, but, Kennedy is someone that we all, believe in him and we support him from day one. And we know he can do the work. But there were certain, I mean, one or two things that we see, say, if Bawumia comes back, maybe we can take over. If Kennedy go to the top, and when Kennedy becomes a president one day, maybe when things are not going on, I mean, no one can control Kennedy because we know how he is. He's a man of himself, and sometimes he doesn't listen to anyone. He takes in action whatever he likes.
For me, my view is Dr. Bawumia will lead MPP to 2028 victory because he's credible. He's very, very credible. And in fact, as a party, you can't even change your candidate just like that. Whoever you bring, I don't know how you are going to market him, so I think I'm going for Dr. Bawumia.
You say he's credible. His critics would say that he was touted as the economic messiah, then he turned into master of digitalization. He left the economic work.
You know, there's one or two problems in MP as a party as a whole. You cannot condemn Dr. Bawumia as maybe he is a major problem in the MPP.
Mene wonamfo fo mienu edi nkomo dada won e kire say Dr. Bawumia na wo say o lead NPP echo victory in the 2028 woni omo ya adwen
oh me no me nyadi because say ni patu no mkasa ye no Bawumia ba mu no omo nya tefa omo nya bidie nti omo se Bawumia mera no yen pe Bawumia ne yen sam pe ne biem wo be die konya me awi sen die maintain one
wo ya MPP ni
me ya fu MPP ba so omo fa kare de ba ma mi boni ba be 3000 de mati e be so tie MPP
se su bi o se den
so mo fa kare de ba ma mi boni ba be 3000 o mati e be to tie MPP
wo ya wan opposition ye den
me your president manager o circle number 2 market ona mo we go the force
enti o mo fa Kennedy ama wo nipa be mpem yensa
e be to tie no
oh wow
yeah e be to tie MPP
adentina en fa Kennedy mra
e say global ewiase ewe Ghana ya try judge anyeye ya try lawyer Akufo-Addo anyeye ya try economist anyeye ya pe businessman when America o businessman China president odidwa o dwadini eti emna so say yedi obi e odidwa e be di Ghana so because say omo ko school nyina Ghana omo mwayen omo ko school nyina Ghana.
Okay, me that's it.
What's your first name? Family Koyo.
Operation manager is telling MPP that if they do not bring Kennedy to Japan, he is going to marshal some 3,000 people to vote against the NPP. He says Ghana has tried a judge, has tried a lawyer, has tried an economist, all couldn't give Ghana the necessary, development. So now it is time to try a business person. But I see that this woman, I'll come to you, but I see that one and two man, what's the day?
Where do I kuku about Bawumia to Abanamano? Number 3. Yame watching Obianco to my Bawumia number 3. Yatoni dada. Yempe Ibia.
Okay. She says Bawumia is a candidate you can sell.
Yentuma Bawumia. Yentia Emma me pe Bawumia Samani say. Canada Japan first no. Me unu say oye enipa. Ba se say ni kasa mu ni ye mu no. Ame ye hunu say Sabe ye ni gina ba bia ne kasa ne be gu MPP animas.
Who do you want to be voted for?
Kennedy Japan.
Why Kennedy?
Kennedy o tse ni nyuma a obeye. Campaign am we mo ye the same. Den tam to oba. Obi say oba mo adwuma. Obi to say oba o mo de kita. O mo Ghana card. Ibu say question say Ghana card no ebi adwuma na. Ghana card dey tu kwan. Ye be say mo say mo ko to oba ne say. Man na say o pe Kennedy Japan. Obi asu e de kuma so na asu. E to ko to na won yo da action do batu wani do be di hu a ko to. E be say o Kennedy na won pre. O mo tuma Kennedy no be di o man no.
Bawumia.
Adentia.
Bawumia ba mai ma bibia be yeye. E school fu obenya fa nwudie. O mbenya nkoso. The school for feeding fee no. Aye say enya no ebeye yamu mu. O mbenya aduane papa di. E teachers for so be chiro ma di papa.
Me de Michael say, me to ande o say. Me minim alpha baton no de minim so oba be boy Kennedy Japan. Because I nipa we no. Ye hwa nipa na one PPP party ma ono ni nipa wa bia dwuma o Ghana ha. Wo more workers. Ya say baby am tie kura no eda am team o say on be see da no jama ye say wom
na wo ho no see ye de hu say Kennedy na see
won na see ye ba de kwa say ye ni ani ba bi tin ye kotretenam ni won sin wi oba no be hu say team no say nya hwe wa jama ye ntiram ni nsiesie
enti wanyi musika
dabi
wontu ya rent
wanti kwa ntu ya
what say fa
taifa
Dani your friend is saying
oh abansoro no wasie
taifa him fa
Burkina
taifa Burkina enti Kennedy abesi dan ya wontu ya rent
yentua etimu free
so amanfo tua 3000 na ade abosum bia wontu ya bi
me kase tua time kwana me da nyame entua time ya tram so wase yenye ni tu yentenam.
So that's the verdict of those that we have engaged so far. It is a split view, a split opinion. Some believe that Dr. Bawumia is proven over the years from being a vice president and from his track record, he is able to turn things around for the New Patriotic Party should he lead the party into the 2028 elections. Whereas others believe that Kennedy Agyapong is a businessman. Okay? Take everything aside, even without being a president, he's established businesses. This gentleman I just spoke with says Kennedy has built a house in Taifa, Burkina. He stays there, he does not pay rent, and so he believes that he's a good person who is having the people of Ghana at heart and could do massively well, industrialization and whatnot. There are other three candidates, Brian Acheampong, Yawase Adachum, and Kwabena Agyapong. All boils down to how voters are going to decide. Over 211,000 voters across 333 polling stations, across all the 276 constituencies, where your election command center, TV33 FM, we are going to bring you all the juicy updates right when it starts from 7 a.m. to when polls would close around 2 p.m. Stay with us. We'll see tomorrow and by Sunday who gets elected to lead the NPP. I am Christian Yale with my cameraman John Nipens. We've come to you from Seko. Back to you in studio.
Let's cross over now to the Bono East region, where preparations are underway for the crucial presidential primary. Belinda Tete is there for us. Belinda, talk to us. What's happening there?
Right now, ahead of the elections, the party and the police has come to an agreement that they are handing over the security apparatus to the Ghana Police Service. So the police is handling strictly the security of the region. Therefore, they have deployed some 825 men across the 12 polling stations in the region. And these men are to ensure that there's smooth running of the process. 75 men will be at each polling station. Also, there will be a team on standby for rapid response tomorrow. They are also being provided with body cams, which is being monitored at the national level, and also scanners to make sure that no unwanted items are brought to the polling stations tomorrow. Let's listen to the 2IC, Stephen Buidu.
We deployed 825 personnel across board. We have 75 for every polling station. Outside is also made provision for rapid response to take care of any issue that may crop up in the course of the voting. The security for this election is solely and exclusively made for the Ghana Police Service. So we are not expecting any third force in terms of this election. We also have what we call body cams. They will stream live. We want to have scanners at the entrances to scan for all the unwanted materials that may filter. From all indications, we're going to have a peaceful primaries. There are those who want to foment trouble and later go and cry victim. We're ready for them.
Belinda, how prepared is the Electoral Commission for the over 8,000 delegates who would take part in the exercise tomorrow?
Right. The EC has also declared their preparedness, be it materials or personnel to run the process tomorrow. They have confirmed that they are ready for the process tomorrow. And also, the party has also come to an agreement with the EC that they are going to run the process without interruption from party executives. This is to ensure that there will be a smooth running of the process and the EC can also execute their mandate tomorrow. Let's listen to Dr. Day Yabua, who is the regional EC boss.
Commission So we are in fully charge of the conduct of the election. No party executive, no election committee again. So we are going to handle it the way we have been handling normal elections. So nobody should entertain any fear that any political party chairman or secretary can influence anything. No. At this stage, it's the Election Commission that has taken charge. Every voter has one vote, and every voter will come and vote as individual voter. No matter your status, if you are coming with measurement, they cannot enter. You are going to enter the arena individually, and every voter has one vote. 1,963 voters in all, and the elections are going to take place at 12 polling stations, 2 in Teshima South and 1 in each constituency. So we are expecting 7,963 people.
Well, Belinda, here in Accra, delegates are in high expectations of tomorrow. What have those in the Bono East region been telling you?
Well, they have also confirmed that they are ready, but some have also declared support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, with the regional chair being the lead. He has declared his support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to be, according to him, his argument is that Dr. Bawumia is a well-composed candidate to take the party into victory come 2028. He's also urging other delegates in the region to also support Dr. Bawumia to win the race tomorrow. Let's listen to Ibrahim Baba Bukari, who is the regional chair for the MPP.
Head candidate among all, the most disciplined candidate among all as it stands now is Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. He is the candidate, I think, in my opinion, that should we vote for him, he will be able to wrestle power from the NDC come 2028.
Well, Belinda Tete, thank you so much for the reporting. She's our Bono East region correspondent. We'll turn attention to the ruling NDC now, because the National Democratic Congress has directed all government appointees who have interest in contesting for a party office to resign at least 6 months to any of the party's internal elections. Now, the governing party says this move is targeted at ending greed and giving equal chances to deserving members of the party. Chairpersons and members of boards are excluded from this directive.
The National Democratic Congress has explained that it has millions of qualified members and supporters who can serve the party in different portfolios. As such, it cannot allow government appointees to hold party office simultaneously.
Any person seeking to contest with party positions who currently holds an office to which he or she was appointed by the president or government must resign from that office at least 6 clear months before filing nomination forms. The affected officers include ministers and deputy ministers. B. Chief executive officers, managing directors, their deputies, or analogous officers. C. Metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives. Now, for the avoidance of doubt and for absolute clarity, the category I just mentioned, the 3 categories I mentioned, those intending to contest at the constituency level shall resign by April 2026. Those intending to contest at the regional level shall resign by May 2026. And those intending to contest at the national level shall resign by June 2026.
A further justification is how the party is seeking to cut greed and even a future possible amendment to stop members of parliament from serving at the same time in government.
God forbid, if any of us drop dead today, NDC has got so many more people who can hold our position and do an excellent job, if not even better job. So we must have the same principle at all. I think it's simply an issue of rather reducing the level of greed. You understand? You're going one man with chop. What's the problem? What's the problem? So if you want to work for the party, you leave your position in government. Just come and contest and win. Then we know you are fully dedicated But this situation where you are trying to be one leg here, one leg up, you are the one. So it's the same kind of principle.
The party, as part of its internal reorganization, has provided roadmaps for its election from branch level to national, with even a stronger caution to all branch executives who would supervise the registration of new members for the party.
Branch registers will be made available at every branch to enable members to verify their details. This applies to 1, existing members, 2, members of both existing branches and newly created branches formed during the 2024 elections. Branch executives are hereby directed to open their registers fully and transparently to members. Members must be given unhindered access to check their names and ensure that corrections, omissions, or additions are addressed appropriately. Let me state this unequivocally. Under no circumstances should the membership number of a deceased member be transferred or swapped for a new registrant. Any branch found to have violated this directive will face the severest sanctions prescribed under the constitution of the party.
This is your Election Command Center here on News Central. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Now, President John Mahama has reiterated his commitment to the fight against galamsey, stressing that he will continue decisively and without fear or favor. Speaking at a Ghana Military Academy graduation ceremony, he says while there are positive results, he will not be complacent and relent in the strides made against illegal mining. He has meanwhile expressed concerns about threats of violence, extremism and terrorism, particularly on Ghana's northern borders, stressing that national security must not be seen as the sole responsibility of the state security agencies.
Military bases have been established and offenders have been arrested and are being prosecuted. Rivers such as the Pra, Ankobra and Ofin are gradually recovering. Let me be clear, illegal mining will continue to be confronted decisively and without fear or favor. But this fight requires national unity. It is a moral, civic and generational duty. And I call on all Ghanaians to stand together to restore and protect our land. Distinguished guests, the security environment in our sub-region remains complicated and volatile. Violent extremism, terrorism, and transnational crime continue to pose serious threats, particularly along our northern border. Globally, the rise of non-state actors and asymmetric warfare has reshaped the nature of security challenges. These realities demand a comprehensive and coordinated national response. Security cannot be seen as the sole responsibility of the armed forces and security agencies. It is a shared national duty. Citizens, communities, traditional authorities, civil society, and government must work together to protect the peace and stability we all so cherish. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to remain vigilant and security conscious in safeguarding our nation's peace.
Now, Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu is this afternoon making a case for a relook at the contingency fund for the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service to address emergencies. The minister believes that proper planning and budgeting is crucial to respond to emergencies. The minister has also promised the construction of a girls' dormitory for Nobisco and Labone Senior High School to be funded by Gallup and Get Fund. On Wednesday, January 28th, a fire outbreak ravaged the girls' dormitory of the Northern School of Business in Tamale, displacing some 900 female students. School uniforms, mattresses, and other belongings of over 900 female students of the school were destroyed following the fire incident. We'll connect now with Christopher Amwako, who's been following this story. Christopher, what else can you report?
According to the education minister, when he visited the Northern School of Business, he's been giving assurances that government will take immediate steps to ensuring that the affected students do not lose contact hours. And so some temporary structures on campus, including converting the dining hall into a boarding facility for boys, such that the girls can also go and occupy the boys' dormitory, is in consideration, so that the students who've been asked to go home will return in earnest to come and continue with their academic activities. He's also been assuring them of the construction of a brand new girls' dormitory because the one that was caught by fire, a same dormitory that was ripped off by a rainstorm some months ago. And so it calls for the construction of a new dormitory facility for the girls. Let's take a listen to what the education minister has been saying.
And with the teaching staff, significantly can affect learning outcomes. And for that matter, even as you are asking that you want the second years to get home, so that you focus on those who write another SSS, so that I'm not blamed or Director Jai is not blamed for poor performance of senior high school student. We would give it the needed urgent attention but the desire will be that maybe we relocate the girls' dormitory, and then we have a lot of land around here. You know, I come to play football sometimes, so I see you have a lot of space. We should get a completely new girls' dormitory for Nobisco. But as I said, we're already in the process of procurement. It's before the Minister for Finance just to give approval for gallop financing for a girls' dormitory here, and then another one to respond to the Laboni tragedy. I remind the Minister this morning. So we are here to empathize with you. I know that immediately you would need some relief support. Myself and Derek.
Education Minister Haruna Iddrisu. Earlier, our correspondent Christopher Amwako. News Central returns shortly. Now, today on By the Numbers, we turn our focus to Ghana's cash cow, gold, which accounts for nearly 63% of our export earnings. Now, here's the good news. Gold has recorded a historic January, surging by more than 20%, its biggest single-month gain in over 40 years. This rally came even as prices recently pulled back from record highs above $5,200 per ounce. But there's a flip side. The surge is not good. If you were a central bank governor who sold 18 tons of gold earlier at around $4,200 per ounce, that decision has potentially cost the country close to $1 billion in value loss. There is more in this report.
Between early 2024 and September 2025, Ghana deliberately built up its gold reserves from about 20.6 tons to 37.1 tons, increasing the value of its gold holdings from roughly $1.3 billion to $3.43 billion. This reflected a strategic shift towards holding gold as a buffer against currency volatility, external stocks, and global uncertainty. However, by December 2025, the Bank of Ghana reduced its gold holdings sharply to 18.6 tons, effectively selling about 18.5 tons to shore up foreign exchange liquidity. At the time of sale, gold prices averaged around $4,200 per ounce, but prices later surged to record highs of about $5,590 per ounce, implying an opportunity cost of approximately $830 million. In simple terms, Ghana traded future gains for immediate stability. Governor Johnson Esiama has explained that decision was based on careful calibration and regional analysis, reflecting concerns about short-term balance of payment pressures, import cover, debt servicing, and currency stability.
And what we did was to look at our peers, our peer countries. We observed that most of them were holding between 20 and 25% of their portfolios, as gold. At the time, we were holding a little over 40%. And so decision was made to diversify, and that is what you see. But the FX that was earned as a result is there. It is earning, dividends. And so no worries at all.
Well, that'll be all today. Thank you so much for your company. I will see you later tonight on Ghana Tonight. My name is Kemeni Amano. Bye-bye.